Hey guys, it's Mico and her cat Mickey back again. Today I want to show you how to crochet these super cute Mickey inspired fingerless gloves. Crochet your own pair with me. First up, we'll crochet a rectangle using only single crochet. And then we're going to join the sides with slip stitches, leaving a hole for your thumb. After that, we'll add the cat ears and eyes to jazz it up. I've drawn a diagram to help you see which rows make each part. Below the gray dotted line at the bottom is the ribbed portion of the cuffs. The white portion at the top right is the palm area. And the black part is for the cat face. Feel free to choose your own colors. For row 1, start a foundation chain in white yarn. The length depends on how long you want your gloves to be. I found that 29 chains was just right for me. If yours is different, you can simply adjust the pattern. Take the white yarn and tie a slip knot. Then chain your perfect length. Around 29 chains works well for a 4mm hook. Try it on your hand to see if it's a tiny bit longer than needed. If so, you can follow my pattern exactly. If not, tweak the stitch counts for later rows based on your starting chain, using the diagram as a guide. For row 2, start in the second chain from the hook and make 28 single crochet across. This number works with my 29 chain start. Each row will have one less stitch than your initial chain. This one is the last chain and this one is the second to last chain. Insert a hook here. Yarn over, pop a loop. You'll have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. That's your first single crochet. And then insert a hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pop a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. And then you're going to keep making single crochet all the way across the chain. Now I'll make one last single crochet in the final chain to finish row 2. For row 3, flip your work and chain 1. Make the first 8 single crochet as back loop only, and then regular single crochet for the rest stitches. The back loop only stitches will create ribbing for the cuff. Now you're going to flip your work and chain 1. And then we're gonna make the first 8 single crochet through the back loops only. Insert your hook into the back loop with the V part facing out. And then yarn over, pop a loop, yarn over, pull through the 2 loops on your hook. you're gonna do 7 more the same way. Starting at stitch 9, go back to regular single crochet through both loops of the V. Insert a hook into the V, back piece, yarn over, pull a loop, yarn over, pull through 2. You can place a stitch marker to remind the start of the curve. Now let's finish the row with the rest of the single crochets. Just one more to go. That completes row 3. For row 4, flip again and chain 1. First, make 20 regular single crochet across, and then 8 back loop only for the curve. So flip your work and chain 1. And then you're gonna make 20 regular single crochet up to the marked stitch. I'm at the marker now. The last 8 stitches will be back loop only single crochets. Insert your hook into the back loop only and make the single crochet. Keep going to the end of the row. Rows 5 through 16 repeat the pattern from rows 3 and 4. The curved part stays 8 back loop only. Everything else is regular single crochet. When you finish row 16, it will line up with where we start row 1. I'm gonna stay with you one more row. Flip your work, chain 1, Make 8 back loop only single crochet. Then continue with regular single crochet till the end. Keep alternating rows like this until you complete 16 rows, ending on the same edge as your starting chain tail. Feel free to pause the video now and focus on crocheting up to row 16. Catch you in a few. Nice, row 16 is done. Check that it covers your whole palm width. If so, keep going. If not, work another 2 rows, still ending on the same edge as your starting chain. Moving on, flip work and chain 1 like normal. First make 8 back loop only for the curve, then 10 single crochets in white, and then switch to the black yarn for the last 10 single crochets. This is where we left off before. Make 8 back loop only for the curve, then 10 single crochets. Here, switch to black yarn for the cat face. You can use any color instead of black, or change up the size of the color block if you want. Flip your work and chain 1. 8 back loop only single crochets. And then 10 single crochets in white. When you get to the 10th single crochet, switch colors. Here's the 10th stitch. After you insert your hook, pull up a loop. Instead of finishing it, bring the white working yarn forward. And pinch the black yarn like this. Pull it through the 2 loops on your hook to complete the single crochet. Give the white yarn a gentle tug to tighten up. Since I'm demonstrating the right glove, I'm hiding the tail on the palm side. For the left glove, tuck it on the opposite side instead. Keep going with black yarn for the final 10 single crochets. Leave both yarn tails alone for now. The next row is the reverse. Start with black yarn for 10 single crochets. Switch to white for 10 single crochets. And then 10 back loop only for the curve. So it's the same as before, just with the color change added halfway through. Okay, flip your work again. And then chain 1. Make 10 single crochets. On the 10th stage, you're gonna switch colors. So after pull up a loop, to finish the stitch, move the black yarn to the hiding side. Hold the white yarn and pull it through the loops to complete the single crochet. Give the black yarn a gentle tug. And then make 10 single crochets in white color. And then 8 back loop only like usual. Now you're going to keep repeating these 2 color switching rows, building up the hand section for around 23 rows total, ending along the black yarn edge. Let me show you 2 more rows. Now you can pause here and continue alternating rows until the piece fits your hand. Remember to ending on the black yarn part. I made 42 rows in total. And finishing on the black edge. Now I'm gonna try it on to double check the fit. If it covers your hand nicely, you are good to go. And if not, do another couple rows ending on the black section. Now we can trim the excess starting yarn tails. For the right hand, leave the black working yarn attached. Next up, join the sides with slip stitch. Line them up nicely like this. And then insert your hook into the first white stitch. Pull up a loop and pull through the loop on your hook to make a slip stitch. Now you can continue making slip stitches evenly along the white edge to create a cute black border. There are no obvious stitches on this edge. You just need to go crocheting evenly on the top of these little holes. Insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through the loop on your hook. Now just repeating this. I just have the last back stitch left. When that's done, it's time to work on the thumb opening side. First, join all the black sections together, and then leave some of the white part to crochet slip stitches on the back of the hand only, leaving a gap for your thumb, and then join both sides across to the end. Now we're gonna put the two sides together with each stitch lined with each other, and then the crochet hook goes through the black stitch, then through the white cross-banding stitch, and then completes a slip stitch. And the same for the following stitches. Crochet all the black part of the cat face in slip stitches. After finishing the black part, make about 8 slip stitches along just on the side close to ours for the thumb hole. Try it on to make sure the opening is roomy enough. If it's too tight, add a few more slip stitches, only one side. When it feels right, continue joining both sides together. Carefully line up the remaining stitches and slip stitch together all the way to the end. When the last stitch is joined up, we're gonna add a border around the cuff. So first, chain 1, and then work slip stitches evenly just like before. Now you can leave a long tail, cut the yarn and hide those ends. The method for working slip stitch with the left hand is slightly different from the right hand. For the left hand, we break the yarn here. Slip stitch should start from the palm side of the wrist. Let me demonstrate how to join the black yarn to the first stitch using another glove. Pinch the black yarn like this, and then insert your hooks through the hole of the first stitch. Pull the black yarn through with the hook, and then chain 1 like this. Next, take the black yarn tail and pull it through the loop on the hook. Give it a firm tug to secure the black yarn in place. And then you can start working slip stitch along this round, following the wrist. After completing a full round, use the slip stitch to join the two sides together. And continue working slip stitch until you reach the position of the thumb, only working slip stitch on the back side to create a thumb hole. And then when you reach the black section, continue joining two sides together with slip stitch until you reach the top. From there, continue working slip stitch in this direction to form a cute border. Once done, you can cut the yarn and prepare for weaving in the ends. For weaving ends, I like using a smaller hook, but a yarn needle works too. Flip the glove inside out to access everything. The collar change tails got trimmed already. Let's weave in the starting and ending yarn ends along the inner curve. Thread the tail onto the hook. Tie a knot around the stitch. Tighten a bit, then weave through a few more stitches before cutting the excess. Do the same for any other tails. Next, we're gonna whip up the cat ears in pink yarn. Make a magic ring first. And then you're gonna crochet 7 single crochet in the ring. Marking the first stitch. And then crochet another 6 single crochets. After that, tighten the ring. And then join round 1 with the slip stitch in the marked stitch. And then chain 1 for the next round. For round 2, you're gonna make 1 single crochet in the first stitch. And then make 3 single crochets in the next stitch. 1 single crochet and another single crochet in the same stitch. Now do 1 more in the same stitch. Now you're gonna repeat what you do in the last 2 stitches 3 times. 1 single crochet and 3 single crochets in the same stitch. 1 single crochet, and 3 single crochets in the next stitch. Now insert your hook in the final stitch. We're gonna switch to black yarn. Pop a loop, and then grab your black yarn. Pinch the black yarn like this, and then pull through the 2 loops on your hook. That's a final single crochet for round 2. Give both yarn toes a gentle tug to tighten, and then snip off the pink yarn. Now leaving the black and white toes for weaving in later. We're still gonna join round 2 with the slip stitch in the marked stitch. After inserting a hook, place both toes between the hook and the working yarn to hide them as you complete the slip stitch. Now chain 1 for the next round. Keep hiding the tails as you work each stage. For round 3, make 1 single crochet in the first stitch. Place a stitch marker. And then 1 single crochet in the next stitch. Now make 3 single crochets in the third stitch to shape the first ear point. After those 3, you can stop weaving the tails for now and just trim them later. Now make 1 single crochet in each of the next 3 stitches. Then make 3 single crochets in the next stitch for the second ear point. After that, make 3 more regular single crochets. Then 3 single crochets in the next stitch for the final point. After that, make the last 2 single crochets. Now you can join this round with the slip stitch in the marked stitch. Here you can go ahead and cut the yarn. Trim the ends, weaving the black slip stitch tail like we did for the gloves. one cat ear is complete, you can make the second ear the same way. Once you finish both ears, you can glue the bottom to the gloves, or stitch them on with black yarn and then hide the ends. I stitched mine but didn't include it in the video since black yarn is so hard to see. For the eyes, I'm using 18mm gloss cat eyes, which you can find in my shop. Along with other sizes and styles. I also have the 6mm size used on the pouch from a previous tutorial. However, if you don't have suitable cat eyes, no worries, you can crochet them from the yarn too. I'm gonna show you how. Now crochet 6 half double crochets in the ring. Yarn over, insert your hook into the ring, pull up a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through the 3 loops on your hook. Now you can mark your first half double crochet. Now continue making 5 more half double crochets. Yarn over, insert your hook, pull up a loop, pull through the 3 loops on your hook. Now pull the ring tight, then join with the slip stitch where marked. We're gonna make the black pupil the same way and just cut the yarn after joining. For the yellow part, chain 1 for the next round. And then make 1 single crochet increase in each stitch around. So you're gonna have 12 stitches in total, which means you're gonna make 2 single crochets in each stitch. Now join round 2 with the slip stitch. If you forgot to mark the first stitch like me, no problem. Just skip the first 2 stitches and join in the third stitch instead. What we skip is the slip stitch at the end of the previous round and the chain stitch at the beginning of this round. Now snip the yarn and hide the ends. Now use the pattern for round 1 to make the black pupil. You can also stitch some white yarn over the pupil for a better look. Knot it on the back, then hide those ends too. Now you can use glue to stick the eyes together and then attach them to the glove. Today you made your cat ear gloves. Do you love them? Next week I'll be showing you how to whip up this adorable crochet bag using chunky chenille yarn. It has cute ears, adjustable strap, and you can customize the size. Get your furry yarn ready and I'll see you next time.